impatience, that is exactly the hidden trap that destroys destiny in the forest market. The man who rushes to dig the gold by noise loses the field where that gold was actually buried in silence. In all essence, we walked through the roots of impatience, not just as a mistake, but as a spiritual leak. We exposed its 6 branches, and that is with the manpower, the method, the machine, the material, the measurement, and the environment. And we didn't just talk about all of these. I also walk you through this road from the XAUUSD chart, and that was live chat, and I promised today to show you what really happened on that very day, and that is this holy day. But as we are going to dive more deeper in me revealing or showing you this very experiment that we are now investing in the experience to create this idea, I want you to know that what you'll be seeing, the XAUUSD trade that I will be showing you right now, all of the trades was not from panic, but there was from patience. So I want you to take note of that as we dive deeper, okay? And I want you to know again that this message wasn't and isn't just forest. It is a spiritual call. The call to wait with power and to act on or with peace. That is what this message is all about. And personally, my rooted job is not to come here and impress you. My job is to raise teachers, if there is a word like that. I want to raise teachers, leaders who can explain what they learned, not just feel it. So that is why we are going through this journey right now. If you missed the full teaching, that is the rooted cause of the impatience, I want you to go back and sit with it, okay? But for now, if you're truly ready, let's move forward. And that is us stepping into what is next, and that's where that very healing begins. And again, if you're here from the main post, from that very part 1 of this breakdown series that you're seeing, then it means that you care about clear learning and deeper understanding. And if you remain to see the outcome that is going to come out from this, your time, then trust me, our ancestors will never let you down. And MGM will never stop spreading, rewarding, and redeeming love in this nation of forest market life, okay? And I want to add to those that are not yet forest traders, maybe you can become a forest trader. Maybe you just clicked on this post, on this video, because the title resonates with your situation currently, with what you're going through currently. You want to learn about impatience, how it's been very effective in your life currently. I welcome you, and I want you to know that this movement is about bringing back the leadership in all, and that is going to resonate only to those who believe in the movement map that MGM is offering. Now, why are we here today? What is the purpose of this part today? As our second day, the holy day, we are here to see what part 1 has taught us, okay? And what I said was the diagram that healed, saved my life. And at the quest of seeing all of that from part 1, it drove us through knowing the cause of impatience and the effects, and also the delay. And if you stick on to the end, you're going to see the fruit of it as well. We learned that those very problems, that the bad luck clusters in the forex market, those envy, those overtrading, those pressures, those greed, are not your personal issues. And we also studied that it is the seed of the system. We also reviewed the fishbones, and that is the causes of these impatience, and that led us to breaking down the branches which I mentioned earlier. And those branches are manpower, and this manpower, the MGM explanation, the rooted meaning, we saw it as you the trader, and the people around you, rushing you with expectations or doubts, not adding to your visions, And also we talked about the method, and this method told us about the process, that very process you copied without understanding its true purpose or truth, without even seeing the end of it all. And then we spoke about the machine. The machine told us about the tools, the tech, the indicators, the signals, and the misunderstanding that is used to be a misleaded tool for this MGM or this forex market. Next, we spoke about material, and that is the amount you invest or the value you attach to outcomes. And then we now added and reviewed the measurement of this very fishbone. And this measurement happens to be how you judge your wins, your losses too very quickly, whereas balancing the whole view. And then lastly, we spoke about environment, and that is your trading space, those pressures, those noises, how your room is, and those phones, those distractions. Remember, you cannot make a romantic phone call from a nightclub house. You are in a nightclub, you are out with your friends to party at night on a cool Friday evening or night. You can't tell to pick up a call that comes from your partner that requires a romantic flirting, okay? And there is no way you can say good night. It was good talking to you today from a clubhouse where it is filled with people of different vibes, okay, from different destinations. Remember, that is this environment. So right now I want you to take a note of this. Write it down. I want to ask you these very questions that I ask myself, that happens to be what gave me the answer of what was really happening. And if you want to know the recognition of what is happening to you right now, I want you to take note of these reflective questions that I'm about to ask you, that resonates to these fishbones and this rooted MGM explanation that I just gave right now. And first, the question is, who around me is rushing me with doubts? The second static question is, what method am I following that I never texted? Lastly, in my environment, is it helping me to align, or is it making me to trade from noise? Thank you for doing that. Remember, impatience is not just a behavior. It is what I call a deep disconnection. It is that sign that your spirit, that's very sign, that feelings that your spirit is trying to out without awareness. It is like planting a seed on top of a rock. No roots, no fruits. Let's go deeper. Now, talking about the quest of forest markets, I, a rooted trader, I want to tell you that in this space, in this territory of forest market, impatience is the first, that very first spiritual leak that gives access to failure. And once you leak, then the enemy of your greatness can drink from your future. Impatience is the first spiritual leak that gives access to failure. And I am saying that if you allow yourself to leak in this forest space, then you know who your enemy are in the forest space. It is that these enemies of your greatness can now start drinking off from your future. And that is why I am making sure that what I'm teaching to you is not in half-led knowledge. I have to go deeper, sacrifice enough just to make sure that I bring this understanding to the route of the MGM way. Don't be leaked. Now, let's look at the exactly trade I took. That life trade that I took that led to victory, the real world proof of MGM strategy. I am going to show you the trade, and that is on XAUUSD, the gold. So let's observe. let's observe it. You can see on the screen already. Let's calm down. These graphs that I added here was before I took the trade. And before we start seeing what the experiment gave us as experience, I want to say something, and I want to inform you that before this ever teaching from the very part 1, before it was recorded, my father, the spirit who teaches me, my mentor, my leader, the same who gives me breath, whispered, join the war, join this war. I was just arranging all these graphs for graphics on TradingView to start up the part 1, the causes of impatience. I heard the voice, join this war, and that is why I had to screenshot this very area and have it on there, and this was when I joined the war. But then before this whisper came, or before I ever entered, I want you to know it wasn't a market call, it wasn't a trade signal. It is, and it was, a spiritual assignment. So when I heard the voice yesterday morning, that was my yesterday morning currently, I had to quickly fund my account. So I entered the gold market, the XAUUSD. This very, let's look at it. I'm trying to unpin this. Watch, just look at all the proofs. I don't need to, all these are realistics. This was at the moment I was aligning and I heard the voice, join the war. So I had to join the war. Let me have this delete, and then this was the last time I took a good pair trade, and that was on the 16th. So I joined the war yesterday, and that is, you can see, on the 18th. So this was when my first trade, my first entry. I'm going to show you on this TradingView. That is it. This is my first entry, entry. Okay, let me have this shifted, and MGM prepares, don't rush. Let's have all this deleted, and so you can see this was the first trade, this is the second, this is third, then this, you can see that I added all of it. This is TP heat take, this is second entry, this is break even heat, and that is, if you understand, I have the book already, you know what I'm saying, you know where we set our break even. The third entry, we have 1:1 out. The fourth entry, we had break even hit, and the fifth, we have full smashed, right? We had full smash. Then I said, I quote on there, I said, the voice said, it's okay now, war over. Then, and he gave me a warning that now, no matter what spikes up here, as I was looking at the screen already, no matter what spikes up here, never be tempted to go in, except it is demo trading or paper trading. So that is how it all happened yesterday. But now, I am not showing you this to actually prove that I am good or I am the best trader in the world. No, I am showing you this as the real world MGM proof that first, this trades was not taken out of fear, and neither was it taken out of greed. You can see, but because the moments aligned, and then what happened? Every trade won, every entry aligned, the account doubled. And you are seeing that the account doubled. It doubled. And then this is not because rooted trader is lucky, no, but because patience is not passive. It is power. Patience is power under alignment. Yesterday, this is why I cried, and that is truth. I cried not because of this very profit. I didn't even think about it. I was also among the whole day fasting and intermittent praying. But then I cried because not of this profit, but because I now know without doubt, with accuracy, with certainty, with understanding, with deep truth, with purity, that the MGM, this very MGM way, this MGM strategy works. I am not just saying this is tea. It's not just in theory, not just in books, but in this exact war I told you. I just showed you that I fought yesterday in life war, in real time, with spiritual authority. Yesterday, and as well, sorry to say, let me put it this way, in part 1, we had a declaration called the MGM declaration, and I need to be very powerful and cool if you activated by following up the words. So right now, I want us to do something, and that is, I want us to make the MGM declaration for a very reset, for the reset phase. Right now, you've known what you've known, so let's reset. If what you've known is aligning and becoming so pure and true to you, so I want you to speak calmly and repeat this, if you can, after me with genuineness. Even if you don't notice them yet, but repeat them. I no longer rush. I no longer beg time to move faster. I am now trade in divine alignment. I plant my wisdom with peace, and I wait with joy, because I know my reward is already formed. That is all I want you to repeat. If you did, congratulations. So, if what you just heard stirred something inside you, then it means that you're ready for this next phase, and that is the MGM book. And I want to tell you that this is not a search strategy manual. No, it is a restoration guide. It holds that formula that taught me how to wait, when to act, and how to win and execute trade in the forex market, in the money market. And if you're ready to walk this rooted way, in the MGM way, I want you, first of all, I want you to remember, no house, I say, no house is raised on air. The very foundation takes time, and you don't see it, but that very foundation is what keeps the building from falling. Now let's come back. If this message that you heard from part 1 down to this recapping, if it tells something in you, deep within you, you know that yes, this is not a wasted teaching, a truth you have always carried but never had that word for, then this is not just a teaching, it is your signal to act. So now your next step is this unlearn and relearn forest, the MGM way that you're looking at, that is the MGM book, the MGM Bible. Truly, I am saying this again for your and to your own awareness. Why I am saying this is because it is not just a book that I discovered, but it is the MGM activation manual for those who align spiritually and financially, because inside it you will uncover the gravity formula, the reviewed strategy I live and lead by, and as well the hidden patterns these market makers never wanted us to see, and you're seeing it if you have the book. This book is your mirror, your method, and your movement. So once this book is in your hands, send me a message on Telegram. Why? Is because we are not just collecting knowledge, we are building a new world with it. And Rooted Trader is saying to you right now, do not just read the truth, live it, walk it, and root it. This is how we rise together. And you can get this book from this platform you are seeing on the screen. Remember what this very reflective or reflection point here or is saying, and it is saying, and it has just told us that you are the cause, you are also the solution. You are the soil, the root, the seed, and the sun. No one can trade for you the manpower. No one can as well wait for you. But hold on, because when you trust the Father within, when you walk the MGM way, when you breathe through the cycles, you will see the reward of waiting. That taste of betterness, that very taste you will live with as the fruit of alignment. You will know that the delay was not a waste but was divine. And I end it with this following by saying that if you truly have seen the part 1, that is the cause of impatience, then we have also remembered the giving parable of gold. So before you take your next trade, ask yourself this: is this a gold backed decision, or is it a printed just moment of panic? Impatience is no longer your portion, as you know right now, because today you reclaimed the blessing and the time. You are now walking the rooted way, where reward flows to redeem and money follows alignment.
This was just part 1 review, or we can say recap, of which what we have learned now is the root, the cause, and the restoration. In the next, we will see the fruit of patience, and I will tell you a story of a farmer and a seed. Now, I want you to stay close, stay rooted. You have crossed the veil of impatience, that is the break, and what we'll be going through, that is the restoration, that's very patient power, which is the season of planting, the quiet work, and then that spiritual focus that builds your vision in secret. So the reason why I bring all of this up is because, or the reason why I want you to see this part 1 and the coming part 2, that is the fruit of being patient as a new culture of forest life, is because I don't want in a way our next generation, that is our children, to be like we are like that in our family. Dad and mom fighting again. Dad never gives mom money but wants to eat always. It will be sad, yeah? That is why I want us to